Mfon Ekong Usoro is a distinguished legal practitioner and a trailblazer in the maritime sector, known for her expertise in maritime law, transport policy, and regulatory frameworks. Born in Calabar, Nigeria, and hailing from Akwa Ibom State, Usoro has built an exceptional career that has shaped the legal and administrative landscape of the maritime industry in Nigeria and beyond. With an LLM in maritime law from University College London and degrees in law and sociology, she has combined legal expertise with a deep understanding of societal structures. As managing partner of Paul Usoro and Company, she has led high-level negotiations and provided legal counsel on transport, environment, energy, and legislative drafting for both national and international organizations. Usoro made history as the pioneer Director General and first female CEO of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, playing a key role in advancing Nigeria's maritime policies. Her influence extended across Western Central Africa as the Secretary General of the Abuja MOU from 2010 to 2020, strengthening regional cooperation on port-state control. A strong advocate for women in the maritime industry, Usoro is a past president of Wista, Nigeria, where she leveraged her resourcefulness and influence to drive notable membership growth and enhance the visibility of women in the sector. Beyond her administrative and legal contributions, she is also an author of several articles and published works, sharing her vast knowledge and expertise on maritime law, policy, and governance. Her outstanding contributions to maritime development and regional cooperation have earned her national honors from Côte d'Ivoire and the Republic of Togo, recognizing her impact and leadership in the sector. With decades of experience, Mfon Ekong Usoro remains a formidable force in maritime governance, advocacy, and international negotiations, paving the way for future generations of women in the sector.
I was encouraged to take the position by the senior members of Wista, Nigeria. Actually, I wasn't that new in shipping, but maybe in the association, but not in shipping, because I had started in my early days to take on shipping cases in the law firm. Shortly before I went to UCL, that I started attending Wista meetings, or soon after I returned, that I showed interest, a serious interest in it. And when I show interest in something, I became a very active member of Wista and was involved at committee levels. And I think the president then and some of the members in the ESCO and the president before Fajemiro, Dr. Fajemiro, all of them thought I would be a good leader to follow their footsteps and develop Wista from where it was. That's how I became the president of Wista. Because I don't get pushed into taking on a role, I have to be happy to do it within myself. But I was excited about Wista. Then I was really a young lady, full of passion and commitment. I had time, so I gave it my all to enlarge the membership and advocate for women generally to understand and appreciate that we have to create the opportunities for ourselves in shipping. Though everybody talks about it, how the gender bias and how it is men that control the industry, but the emphasis was that we have to create the opportunity. We're not going to wait for the men to create a room for us. So, and part of what we're advocating and which we really pursued, to create that opportunity for ourselves, that space for ourselves, was to educate ourselves. If it means having to go back to to qualify to the university to get more additional qualification, yes. If it meant having to do conferences and seminars, we also did that. First of all, I had a good team. I was focused, and my team were also focused and committed and dedicated. We set tasks for ourselves. I think when I come in as a leader, my task is to motivate people and work with those who are prepared to work. And in our own instance, everybody was prepared to work. I really had no choice. Everybody pitched in. So the successes that we recorded was because of teamwork and total commitment to Wista and its membership. We increased the membership of Wista Nigeria. We increased our visibility in the activities of Wista International, so they noticed that and knew that we were here to stay. And we also pushed and gave our best to represent us in Wista International bodies, and that was Mrs. Funke Agbo SAN. So she did very well and worked very well, and we were respected internationally. Locally, we developed projects that benefited us Wista members and the industry, maritime industry, and the society at large, women particularly. One of the ones that I'm really happy to think about and to remember was the scholarships that we gave to students, cadets of the Maritime Academy. It's fantastic that they're still doing it. That was initiated during my time. Also having to buy boats and stuff for women engaged in artisanal farming, fishing, any water-related enterprise. We took that up as project, and we went to different communities in different states to purchase what those women need to further their trade. We even went as far as having to help them set up a cooperative such that they could manage the equipment that we donate in a way that is sustainable and can generate revenue, and others could also benefit. That was one of the pilot projects, and it was really nice. In addition to the cadets in Maritime Academy, we had world-class conferences. We made it impossible for the men folk to ignore women in maritime during my time as Wista president. We absolutely made it impossible for them to ignore us. We let them know that we are skilled and that intellectually we have things that we could offer the industry. So we got ourselves involved in tasks, in assignments, in organizing conferences. We became, in fact, it is Wista members that dominated the faculty for the annual maritime seminar for judges. It was dominated by us Wista members, and several such endeavors. We made sure that women were given a part to play. So most of us, because we were as good in terms of competence, if not better than some of our male colleagues, we got accepted by the industry and respected too. I worked first as a consultant for the Nigerian Shippers Council, in working with them to organize the freight forwarding sector. That assignment was very intense. It wasn't just within the Shippers Council and the different associations. It was also with the National Assembly. So it ended with me being consulted and asked to draft the bill for the Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarders in Nigeria. That was a very satisfying project. That is how come that council was set up. I also participated very, very seriously in the industry debate about cabotage. I wrote articles, I organized seminars, and I think that is how the House of Reps, the chair and his team noticed me and requested me to assist them turn a 5-page draft that someone else had given to them into a proper bill. And I ran with that. I ran with that until NIMASA, what was it now? NMA, National Maritime Authority, saw that we had gone to a level that we cannot go back. It was industry driven. And then the member in the House of Reps, Maritime Transport, became a sponsor, the chair of that committee. So we worked with them, and then we had to do serious advocacy and convince the then Minister of Transport, Chief Ojoma Dwekwe, that it was pro-Nigerian and it will not negatively impact on our relationship with foreign partners. I don't know how I got to be appointed, in the sense that I don't know how it happened. Just I went to the ministry to pursue my bill because they hadn't paid me for the work I did for the NIMASA bill until the two houses of National Assembly, because they had not paid for that assignment. So I went to see the permanent secretary to pursue that bill. And the permanent secretary said, let's go up to the minister. We have a meeting with the minister. And as we were going into the minister's office, he said, climbing up the stairs, he said, we're expecting one other person, but the person is not here. And congratulations, madam. And then we just opened the door. Congratulations for what? I didn't know what. So we went into the minister's office. That is when they announced. The minister said that he has spoken to the president, and the president approved that I should be the pioneer DG of this newly formed agency, and that he has trust and faith that I'll be. It was because they recognized I was competent. I had the knowledge. I had the technical competence to do the work of the agency. We have to congratulate that minister. It was Dr. Sekibo. The fact that he was gender blind. He didn't say, oh, because he's a woman, don't go there. Little did I know that that meeting that he invited me to, my first meeting with him, was a job interview. And, so that's how I became the first female to head a maritime agency. It was Wista strategy. That was Wista strategy. And actually, in those initial years, we were looking at women in managerial positions. We're in a position to make decisions that will affect other women, that will pull other women in. That is what it was. We were targeting women at managerial levels. So that it was a Wista strategy, not Mfon Usoro strategy, but I pushed that. My colleagues also pushed, so we got women from the different subsectors of the shipping world. I mean, you cannot underestimate the persuasive power of first ladies. Okay, people say it's not a constitutional office. Yes, it's not. But they have enormous power to influence thinking, influence acceptance of certain initiatives. So it's also in my nature when I put my hat in the ring to do my best. So I went all out to get, she's now the First Lady of Nigeria, to get the First Lady of Lagos to be involved in our activity. She graciously obliged, which was very nice. And women seeing her on television at Women in Shipping program would have encouraged other women to also join. And then at another event of Wista, I was able to get and attract the attention of Titi Abubakar, who was also our special guest of honor. Yes, but I don't know why we did not continue in that trajectory. It may not have been the strategy of those who came after me, but it did help in giving us women in shipping visibility. And I think somebody might do well to remind our First Lady today, Senator Remi Tinubu, of her association with Wista when she was the First Lady of Lagos State. And you'll be surprised that she may oblige. But we need to up our games and look to those women that are of high net worth, because it helps. And Wista International, they were following activities. There was a lot of cohesion also among the executives and Wista members generally, whether in the executive or not, such that it was only positive news that was getting out of Wista to the industry. Positive news within Nigeria and international. So that even when I left, another president, Ife Agerina, pushed it that Wista International made me the personality of the year. You know, they always have that honor from Wista International, because that is how highly regarded Wista Nigeria was. There are multiple associations of women in maritime now, all of them struggling in the space that used to be dominated by Wista. So, but that also puts responsibility on the current leaders to be innovative, knowing that it's now a competitive space. We need to work hard, show our achievement, and if we do better than any other African country, we will get the position. We were very active such that they were impressed and they thought we were the best to represent Africa. So one must also note that the reputation of the country as a whole impacts on Nigerians and other associations internationally when we go campaigning for or seeking to hold office in international organizations. So sometimes when we have negative impressions of Nigeria as a whole, it impacts. And the individuals contesting for international positions, the organizations contesting, then need to work harder to make it obvious that the negativity that some people may rightly have about the country does not reflect on the association in question. We did. Those that are Wista members like now who have matured, they were young at the time. They were young ones at the time. So because of course in our outreach programs and advocacy programs, we wanted the young ones as well to be exposed to the shipping sector and the multiple areas that they could specialize in. So those ones that are there now, some of them were Wista members as very young girls who did very well working with us, and they were quite active. So they are still in Wista now. I think we should not be lazy, because I think part of it is laziness, or just the reluctance to go to navigate new terrain, new areas, because you know this women, you know that man already as an industry expert, you keep going to the same set of people. Especially younger ones now in their 40s, in their 30s, they have so much potential, so much knowledge using AI and different ways and things that are happening in this area of renewable energy. And I think the best material you can get is not a 55-year-old man and 55-year-old woman was in the 60s. Forget the young ones. Member of those associations as well. I'm not talking down on them, but I am so committed to Wista. I'm very prepared to push and advocate for Wista to have preeminence, because it was really the first. It was. So it should have prominence. It has given birth to so many women who are active in several other organizations, but we shouldn't be behind them. I don't think we are behind, but we need to push and be at the front. Traveling for 30 years. Wista has been in Nigeria continuously. There was never a time that we have stopped functioning and then it had to be rejuvenated. So for that, I congratulate all members of Wista Nigeria. Once a Wista member, always a Wista member. So I'm not going to say past members of Wista Nigeria. All members of Women International Shipping and Trading Association in Nigeria. Wista, I congratulate you at the anniversary of your 30th year of existence in Nigeria. All the best, and I wish you continued growth and relevance in our industry.